individual, was a very special producer on Beauty and the Beast. He also told me that he was a veteran of all 3 seasons. So he has a lot of stories to tell us and a lot of love to share. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. David Swartz.
Several things before I invite everybody to start asking questions. I guess most significantly, and so everybody understands how things went, yes, there was lots of smoke in the tunnels, but no, I didn't inhale. But seriously, less than 10 minutes ago, I called my answering machine in Los Angeles, and Linda was on the machine. She knows I'm here. So I just want to pass on Linda's wishes and her love and respect. She knows that everyone is here for many different reasons, but one of the reasons she knows that a lot of people are here is that money will be going to the Pediatric AIDS Foundation. She wants to applaud not only the arrangers and the coordinators of this event, but everyone for coming out to spirit and champion that cause. It's something that has touched many people's lives, and sadly will probably continue to touch many people's lives. So she wanted to pass on her thanks for everyone's contribution there. And she said, relax and have a good time. So I'll attempt that in between my heart palpitations. It's funny because obviously several of my friends are here that we've kind of gone through the years with a lot of our fans from the west side of things, and Julie and Vera and the girls. And I'm not one that, and they know, I'm not one that's normally tongue-tied. Anybody that's sort of had a chance to interact with me in the last 24 hours knows that as well, but I'm literally paralyzed. So I just want to, before I open up the floor, I just want to say, I guess since I'm a virgin at this, I ask that you take your time with me. Nothing too deep and penetrating. Questions, I mean. So yes, what's your name?
Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
Thank you very much for encouraging Mr. Edwards to sing last night. I really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, you know, it really took a lot to persuade everybody. You'll ask me in front of everybody, right?
Which episodes did you produce?
Well, in case anyone doesn't know, Ron probably doesn't really exist. I just got car drunk in my. For the first 9 or so episodes, I'll take it back further than that. On the pilot of Beauty and the Beast, I had just moved to Los Angeles, literally a month or so before, and was blessed with an opportunity to meet a guy in the post office line. It's really actually how this all comes about. I met this guy with Gavin while we were waiting for stamps, and anybody that's never been in the post office knows that you could reward peace in line. Just use a stamp. And, you know, Jewish geography, I guess, is how it works. Oh, you know, and you're from back east, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, I'm looking for work, and I just moved out from New York, and he said, well, call me next week. He was a lawyer. And I said, well, how much is it going to cost? And basically what happened was he turned me on to the people who were getting ready to do the pilot. And I was a bit overqualified, and they said, no, not really. So, look, I just moved out here, and whatever it takes, I need a break to get started in Los Angeles. I had 10 years in the movie business in New York, but from coast, it's a different game. And I got hired on the pilot of Beauty and the Beast. I was Richard Franklin's assistant. Basically, Richard wanted somebody to sort of support him because he's Australian, and you know, he's working in America and speak English there, in Los Angeles especially. And so I was really there in many respects to sort of be a support for Richard, to sort of help him get what he needed done. And as it turned out during the course of the design of the pilot, there was a lot of politics, and one of the things I guess I've been blessed with is the ability to be politically correct when needed. And it worked out such that I was a pretty good buffer for one side of the fence. versus the other in some of the aspects of filming of the pilot. When the pilot was finished and we were in post-production, I just basically took the opportunity to ask Paul Witt and Tony Thomas that if an opportunity arises on either this project or subsequent projects that they put together, they considered me. They didn't know about my previous history, and they just thought that I was a 30-year-old go-getter. But when the show got picked up, I was called in. Kaz and I pretty much struck up a relationship on the pilot. They called me in and asked me if I wanted a job. In the first 9 or so episodes, I was the post-production coordinator, supervisor with Christopher Toy, who's a very dear friend. He was the associate producer of the first season. Then around Christmas break of the first season, there had been quite an amount of turnover and breakdown in the process of making the show. We had gone through several crews, both through good and bad times. And by then, I was pretty much the only person who, for many reasons that might be obvious or not, that Ron and Linda and myself kind of all formed our little niche. And the company realized that I was probably the best bet at salvaging the energy and the tenor of what was needed on the set, kind of to create a box, a context to work in every day. And they said to me, look, we want you to just be on the set and be this rudder. And that was pretty much the direction that I was placing the set of Beauty and the Beast with. Just handle what needs to be handled, keep us clear as to what the breakdown is, and we'll try to fix it as it goes along. And then there were other subsequent things, which was every day I would deal with the writers. The writers would communicate to me, sorry. I'll try to put it in different terms. I would speak with the writers more. Normally it was Cosmo for the first season, and Ron would just say, listen, this is what I'm listening for in these passages. This is what the color of the stroke should be. There was also, obviously, in the first season, a desire to keep Vincent sort of mysterious and keep some sort of distance. It's kind of a weird thing. While presencing him out there, keeping him back just enough to have the mystery. And it was oftentimes a difficult task because going through different cinematographers, directors, photographers, everyone trying to find a way to create a look that Roy Wagner created, which was extraordinary. And do it in less time, do it for less money, just do it. And it's easy to say when you're in an office looking at dailies on Tuesday that Monday morning quarterbacking is a very comfortable position to be in. I was not in that comfortable position. Mine was sort of a mix between Henry Kissinger and Jay Leno, I guess. I don't know what that looks like. A guy with a big forehead and a big jaw and a weird accent, I guess. But, so I don't know. Did I answer any question there? I'm sorry, that was great. Thank you. That was great. Does that answer it? That's a startup, right? Follow. Yes.